Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 Manager 2022 and another part of our Aston Martin Road to Glory career mode. Today, we have got the summer break where we'll be doing a lot of looking ahead to next year. And we will also have the Belgian Grand Prix as we return from that summer break and seeing, is our car gonna be able to win this championship, or are we gonna come up a little bit short? It's gonna be an intense one. I'm really looking forward to the race itself, because that, as I say, is gonna give us a big indication of where this championship is gonna go by the end of the season. Make sure you hit the like button if you're enjoying the series, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe for daily F1 Manager content. We are having an absolute blast playing this game. I'm having an absolute blast interacting with you lot in the comments, and talking about this game, because so many people are really enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I certainly can't wait to get into today's episode, because last time it was an intense one, because Mercedes are back. Lewis Hamilton is back. Lewis Hamilton got very, very close to winning the last Grand Prix. Arguably would have done had it not been for us extending that strategy of Gasly's. It was risky. It might not have paid off, but we managed to keep out in front of Lewis and push on, attack those tyres a little bit more, as we had just a little bit more left in them than Lewis at the end of the race, and that made all the difference, and traffic and all of that nonsense, basically. So it was an intense race last time out. So let's have a little look at how things are going. So we've been congratulated by Patrick Stafford. Post-race overview then. So Pierre Gasly was able to win from P2 on the grid, and he is leading the championship for the first time by 1 point over his teammate Fernando Alonso. Max Verstappen is P3 still, but Red Bull very much not in the running in recent Grand Prix. We have had some research for the rear wing, which I think is going to be really, really good, and hopefully that will mitigate what will happen next season. So we are going to focus purely on research after the summer break. So we've got one or two more extensive upgrades, because if you look at the calendar, we have some front wing research coming in as well, so we can upgrade 2 more parts. Now, the obvious thing is to say, right, let's go and get a new underfloor, but we're already doing some research on that, so we can't focus more energy into that area. Front wing is usually the other part of the car that feels a lot of benefit from upgrades. But again, it has already got some research on it. For now, after the next week or so, we should be able to do a front wing upgrade. Currently, chassis not looking fantastic for us. Rear wing is looking okay in one aspect. Side pods, again, could be something that we look at to make a bit of a more balanced car. Suspension, again, could be something as well. And potentially suspension is where we look at it. But we have no man hours left. Yeah, a few of these are increasing. Maybe if we put some extra focus on it. When would this come out? So it would come out in September. That's not bad. You can see it would have some reasonable benefit on certain parts of the car. High-speed corners especially. Okay. Right, let's stick 3 guys on this. So 2nd of September. When is the next Grand Prix? 25 days. So if we rushed it, it would come through in time, wouldn't it? If we just took 1 engineer on it, yeah, that would work. Okay, and that won't cost us too much. So we'll get that new suspension in. Let's get these development points on the guys. I think defending Again for Pierre. Still hasn't moved up to an 86, weirdly. Oscar Piastri move up his smoothness. We will keep going with that. Staff-wise, still no development points there. 24 million we've got in the bank. Potentially the suspension simulator needs a bit of an upgrade. So we'll go for that. Okay. Right, cool. Okay. Let's just head to the warehouse. We need a new underfloor, don't we? Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Okay, continue on. Then we go to a centre has been upgraded and the front wing research has been completed. So why don't we now throw everything into a new front wing that will give us a little bit more benefit. And put a little bit more focus on those parts of the car. A little bit less focus on that. Yeah, that looks fine. That looks really good. If we can pull that off, that would be very, very strong. That would help us a lot. Right, 45 days to get that in. If we rush it, we can get it in 30 days. It will cost a little bit more. I am a little bit worried about a cost cap, I'm not gonna lie, come the end of the season, but it's what it is. Underfloor is complete. There's an up and coming driver there. Boardroom is complete as well. Klaus Peters, he's 43. I mean, what? Not a chance. Right, Ricardo Mosconi, 92 rated. Let's just have a little look. Yeah, again, very, very good. And has only got 4 months left on his contract. Just what we want to see. Enrico Balbo. Looks pretty decent as well. He's still got 3 years on his contract though, so that is not going to happen. And Pierre Vaca. Still got a year on his contract. So, who do we need to have a look at? Perhaps Jared Murphy. Because we have no idea how long they've got left. And then Enrico Cardiel. Cool. And then I think, let's get a look at some new drivers. Carlos Sainz would definitely be somebody I'd be interested in, so let's get a detailed scout on him. It's 89 rated now, believe it or not. Sponsorship obligation. There's our design complete for the suspension. Let's get that manufactured. Yes, I think we want to rush them. Might have to get 2 emergency ones. And then manufacture 2 more. Whoop. There we go. 2 more normally as well. Okay, and then I also want to research suspensions for next year. That's good. And a little bit more focus. The problem is it does add a lot of time onto your researching. Perhaps we're not as bothered about those things. Maybe a bit more focus on those areas, because that's where we're getting shafted, essentially. That's fine. We've got one engineer to do it. He can do it in 33 days. That's fine. Whew. Right, okay. So, race weekend is coming up. We'll just check there's no development points. Piastri does have one. Nice. Any of our staff? Ooh, Martin Werner does. Up that one. Okay, nothing else. Right, continue on then. Our weather centre has been upgraded. Fantastic. Let's check there's no more development points. Nope. So race preview. Everybody keeping an eye on Aston Martin. 137 points ahead in the championship. We're doing a very, very good job, it has to be said. Race prep. Let's have a little look at what happened last year. I don't actually remember. Vettel finished 11th. Hülkenberg in 15th, both on the lead lap. Max Verstappen won the race ahead of Perez. Remember, Verstappen went on a crazy run towards the end of last season. But yeah, Gasly finished 7th. Alonso finished in 14th. That was right. Vettel made a late mistake that cost us some points. I remember. Which always seemed to happen with Sebastian. I think we have been justified this year. I know a lot of you were very critical that Sebastian Vettel was let go at the end of last season. I think we've just about justified that now. Board confidence check-in. We'll have a little look at the finance report. But yeah, you can see we're not there anymore with our pace. Other teams have outdeveloped us. If we look at that, our low speed corner in 7th. You know, it was 3rd not so long ago. And in theory, we've done our second to last upgrade. Mercedes are looking pretty tasty. Ferrari are looking good. Red Bull could be back this weekend. Lots of firsts there. Lots of firsts. Alpine? Alpine are pretty good. Is it going to be McLaren? No. Haas? Haas are not bad in a lot of areas, which is good for them. AlphaTauri. Ooh. Yeah, we could be in trouble. You know what? You know what? We're actually gonna struggle a little bit, I think. This could be a real baptism of fire for us. How many races have we got left? Ooh. It could be a hanging on job here. But I've said that before and then we end up getting a 1-2. You guys just do not believe me. I'm not sure I believe myself. Right, finance report. Let's have a look at our season balance. We are projected to have 82 million by the end of the year. I would like to have a look at our cost cap stuff. We are projected to be 43 million up, so I guess that's good. I mean, sponsor-wise, we are doing a pretty good job. So let's get into the Belgian Grand Prix. Should be an absolute cracker, actually, this one. So here we go.
Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. This circuit was built in 1921, and even though its length was halved in 1979, the Belgian Grand Prix is still one of the longest, fastest, and most magical races on the F1 calendar. Spa-Francorchamps is famous for its long straights and fast corners. Drag efficiency will make all the difference here as drivers zoom through the famous sequence of Eau Rouge leading up into Raidillon. But a twisty middle sector keeps things tricky down on the track. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Okay then, let's have a look at... Oh, it's going to be raining. It's going to be raining later on. That is tricky. It's definitely tricky, but we will try our absolute best to do a good job. So I'll see you guys after practice. Okay, at the end of FP3, you can see Gasly and Alonso 7th and 8th. Not a great deal behind the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, who has been dominating the weekend, by the way. Probably helped by a brand new, fresh engine that he's put in. Charles Leclerc also taking grid penalties. Vettel, Zhou Guanyu, Ricardo and Tsunoda will also be joining them with grid penalties. Look at the setup confidences though this weekend. 95% and 98%. Can't really say fairer than that. Let's make sure that we've got our freshest engine possible in. Because obviously very... Pardon me, and I bet you I don't edit that out. I do apologise if you are a headphone user. Hopefully you blessed me. But goodness me, that was a violent sneeze. Anyway, yes, let's make sure we've got the freshest engine possible in the car because, of course, very long straights here in Belgium. We're going to make sure that's the freshest gearbox as well. So both drivers in with a good chance, I think. So let's get ourselves into qualifying. I think we can simulate qualifying session 1. And then we'll reevaluate after that. So 6th and 7th. I think we should be fine. Estimated cut-off time. Yeah, as I say, I think we should be fine to simulate session 2. Yes, 3rd and 8th. Very, very good. Going out in Q2 then. Vettel, Ricardo, Bottas, Zhou Guanyu and Alex Albon. Out in Q1 was Magnussen, Stroll, Schumacher, Tsunoda and Nico Hülkenberg, who was very, very close to Tsunoda this race. But yeah, let's get ready for Q3. Let's make sure we start on the used soft tyres. And then we'll get ourselves into the race. So here we go. Qualifying 3. About to hit you like a ton of bricks. Right. I think we want to send out Fernando Alonso. Alonso's going to go out first. Let him get probably around half a lap. And then send Gasly out. Yes, hoping that Alonso does not hit any traffic on his lap. But here we go. Let's watch the 2-time world champion hoping to become a 3-time champion at the end of the season in Abu Dhabi. I think we are going to have a championship decider. It's going to be unbelievable. I really can't wait for it, but we have to make sure we're hanging on to the championship by then. So is Alonso going to catch up to that Mercedes? I'm not sure. Purple first sector, of course. On track, who's that behind? It looks like Max Verstappen. Surely he's going to go purple in sector 1. And he does. And he does. Pierre Gasly coming around the bus stop chicane. He's going to be starting his lap. Here comes Fernando Alonso towards Pouon for the first time in Q3. Absolutely flat out from Fernando Alonso there. That was brave through Pouon. And the Mercedes, as I say, not too far ahead. 2 corners, really. But coming up the Blanchimont,
rears are hot.
I'm hoping he'll manage to get out of the way. So coming up towards Blanchimont, hopefully it's past Blanchimont. There's the Mercedes car there. Or perhaps they're going to start. Oh, this is going to be awful. Final corner. Hopefully he'll be alright because that Mercedes is going to run away Lewis Hamilton. Here comes Fernando Alonso up to the line. It's a 141.7. Max Verstappen will be next over the line. Let's keep on board with Pierre Gasly. He's absolutely flat through Pouon as well. And it's Max Verstappen over the line and he does a 41.2. which is a lot quicker than Fernando.
So we're happy to let these tyres cool a
Obviously, we are on used tyres. 2/10 slower was Alonso to Verstappen. Perez goes second. Yeah, Gasly matching Fernando Alonso at the moment. Ocon goes fourth. Russell goes fourth now. We thought Mercedes were back, but here we go. Pierre Gasly is going to race up to the line. And he puts a 41.8 in there. That is slower than Fernando. Leclerc and Sainz go second and third. Hamilton now goes ahead of us as well. So Hamilton fifth. It's going to be nervy. Now we're going to send Fernando out there first. Obviously, grid penalties are going to help. We have to remember that. And Gasly's going to be final man over the line. So Russell leading everybody through. Let's hop on board with Fernando Alonso again. Let's watch his final qualifying lap on brand new soft tyres. I don't think he's going to be able to make up enough time to get ahead of Hamilton, who is massively ahead of George Russell currently. Here we go. Alonso coming up through the first sector. And it is green. And how does it compare? It's a 30.4 compared to a 30.2 for Max Verstappen. He is slightly quicker than Hamilton though. And what about Pierre? 30.4. Slightly slower than Fernando, half a tenth. Now coming up towards Pouin. Throws it round. It's going to be George Russell coming up to the bus stop chicane first. He's going to come up to the line. I presume he was on used tyres before. Here comes George Russell. Where does he go? Oh, he doesn't improve, and Ocon doesn't.
Copy.
Sainz doesn't improve. What about Perez? Perez is going to be the next over the line as Alonso green in sectors 1 and 2. Perez comes up to the line. Where does he go? Stays fourth. What about Leclerc? Can Leclerc oust Verstappen? Leclerc comes over the line and he doesn't. What about Hamilton? Hamilton still fifth. Verstappen improves slightly. What about Alonso? He comes up to the line to 41.6. Not enough to beat Hamilton. Gasly slower in the middle sector. He comes up to the line now. What can he achieve? Oh, it's a 41.7, which is a slight improvement, but not enough to move up the grades. And it's only 6th and 7th at this Belgian Grand Prix. But Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, they'll be feeling the penalties. So actually, in reality, it'll be 4th and 5th for our drivers, but that's not great.
It's time for the final touches here on the grid, ahead of today's race.
There was some good work from Aston Martin during the qualifying session, and they will go to the grid full of confidence. We saw a reasonably good qualifying performance from Ferrari, and they certainly have a good chance to capitalize during the race. And the sun is shining bright here today. This is perfect weather for teams and drivers alike to show us what they're capable of.
Well, this may well be another Belgian Grand Prix for the ages, so stick around and find out how it all ends.
Okay then, let's see what we can do. I suppose it is going to be a one-stopper, and we can definitely attack a little bit on it. Yeah, I'd rather be much more attacking on mediums and hards than risk soft tyres running out. But yeah, I'm happy to take those mediums a little bit further. They will be quicker and leave a little bit in the tank towards the end. Now, Fernando Alonso, he's going to go one extra lap. So he's going to come in lap 22. That's absolutely fine. Okay, let's see how we get on then. We might as well pop in a little bit of extra fuel because we will be really attacking in this Grand Prix. I think it's going to be a return to old times, really, in terms of attacking the whole way through to try and get a result. That's what we did with Sebastian Vettel a lot last season, and it certainly paid off well at the start of races. But, of course, there could be rain. That's one thing I haven't really factored in. It says moderate rain, yet none on the forecast. I don't know. Let's get into it.
We have beautiful blue skies overhead as the drivers line up on the grid. Looking at Fernando Alonso here. They might not be in the top 3 spots, but things could change fast once the race gets underway. Next for the team, it's Pierre Gasly. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. Will their hard work pay off today?
So brand new medium tyres off the start. So here we go.
The crowd here at the Belgian Grand Prix. It's lights out.
Lights out. Away we go. And Sainz off to a terrific start to this Grand Prix. Sergio Perez slots in a second. Both of them on soft tyres. Lewis Hamilton slots in a third ahead of Fernando Alonso in fourth. He's on the medium tyres. So once again, it's going to be a battle between ourselves and Hamilton, you would think, for race victory on this basis. Here goes Fernando Alonso. He's used an overtake. Is he going to be able to outdrag Lewis Hamilton? Is he going to have a little go here? I don't... Oh, he is! He is! Oh, shades of real life there. And Fernando Alonso still side by side with Hamilton, and he does eventually get through. That is a very important move for the start of this race for Fernando. Now, Pierre Gasly, championship leader by 1 point, of course. He's going to be trying to get past Lewis Hamilton as well. He cannot afford to lose ground to Fernando. But that was an awesome move from Alonso on Lewis, and a very important one for our race, because now Alonso chasing after Perez and Sainz. And well, here we go then. Gasly still chasing after Lewis. Is he going to be able to have a go through Boulogne-Tremont up to the bus stop chicane? This could be a chance for Pierre Gasly. He already pulls out and is looking to make a move on Lewis Hamilton. Apologies about losing the footage there. Don't know what's happened to Gasly now. Gasly is going to have to drop down to neutral, you would think, as Lewis Hamilton has caught up to Fernando Alonso. I do feel like this is all glitched, these timing screens, at the moment. Now, is Fernando going to be able to have a go at Sergio Perez this time? Would like to get right into the slipstream of him. Also trying his best to catch up to Lewis. Here we go, Fernando Alonso using a bit of overtake to try and catch up, but I think he's just going to slot in. And yeah, that's exactly what happens. So Gasly chasing after Hamilton. Norris not far behind, actually. Is Lando Norris going to be able to stay in the battle? Ocon currently in 7th, and then George Russell in P8. We've got Verstappen in P9 already, and then Leclerc in P10. So them two are fighting their way through the field. Verstappen, of course, very, very quick so far this weekend. Hülkenberg, meanwhile, he's ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. Once again, showing his racing qualities. And well, can Fernando make a move here?
Use overtake. Okay.
Is he going to be able to glide his way past the front two? It's getting a good distance between himself and Hamilton if he can. Oh, somebody's locked up. I don't know who. I think it's George Russell. Yeah, Russell has...
enabled.
yeah, definitely.
We can take a look
Is
now.
Russell
Now,
out?
just watch the Mercedes here.
I don't know. Yeah, big lock up and went into the wall. I don't know. Is that him out of the Grand Prix?
The team are really disappointed with that.
I'm not sure. No, he is back out. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso using a little bit of overtake, trying to close in on Sergio Perez. Another car's ran wide. I don't know who. Who's ran wide?
That
No,
sounds like
it
someone's
was
gone
Lando
wide there.
Norris. Fernando Alonso not managing to really get close enough to these two. There's Perez chasing after Carlos Sainz, and now all of a sudden Alonso comes alive in the middle sector. Let's stay with that action. So here he is through Pouon. We'll have to keep an eye on this battle. Let's zoom it forward. Is Alonso going to be able to have a go? He's well within range. So here we go, he's going to have DRS here. Just going to close him in nicely. And now it's all going to be about the Kemmel Straight. Is he going to be able to get past them here? Hopefully Sainz at the very least. Come on now. DRS enabled. Perez trying his best to get past Sainz. It's not happening though. So I think we're going to have to come back later to that battle. Meanwhile, Gasly closing in on Lewis Hamilton. Will he be able to make that move on Lewis? Alonso staying with the top two currently. Right, we are going to put Gasly into overtake mode. And this could be an early chance for Pierre Gasly. Is he going to have a look down the inside? No, he's not. He's still stuck in behind Lewis Hamilton. He's going to go through Eau Rouge and Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. Fernando Alonso, hopefully with DRS, is going to stay with those top two guys. Here we go with Pierre Gasly. Lewis Hamilton yields to the left. Pierre Gasly is going to go straight through, and we're going to go straight into deploy.
You can use energy.
And try and get him enough ahead of Lewis Hamilton so that he doesn't just come straight back past.
Currently P4.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
You can see how close Lewis Hamilton is. But the problem is, if Lewis stays in this DRS range, then of course we're going to slingshot Lewis towards Fernando. And that would be a disaster. What we'd quite like is to get Gasly into a four-way battle for the lead. And Gasly just cannot get further in front. Has caught up to the front three. a little bit here. Fastest lap of the race for Pierre Gasly. Fernando is very close here.
Use overtake.
Yep.
Is he going to be able to make a move? Sainz is going to have a little look at Perez to retake the lead of this Grand Prix. Sainz is going to have the inside line. And Sainz is through. What about Gasly? Well, Gasly holds off Lewis Hamilton for now. Right, so I think we want to go balanced on this. We're attacking the tyres, but we don't want to attack the fuel. I'll zoom it forward a little bit. Hopefully Alonso can stay with the top two until his pit stop. And hopefully Gasly can stay in front of Lewis Hamilton. Nope, Hamilton through. But then is Gasly going to have DRS on him? Yes, he is. So Gasly straight back through on Lewis Hamilton. So it's Sergio Perez leading the way.
Have just gained a race position.
Meanwhile, Verstappen and Leclerc stuck behind Norris and Ocon. We do not want them to push through and end up joining this battle. Fernando currently quicker than Pierre. I don't think there's any particular reason for that other than the fact Alonso
gained for Mercedes
is clinging to the back of Sainz and Perez. Verstappen, meanwhile, he's very shortly going to get past Lando Norris. So Verstappen up into 6th place now, and there are some yellow flags. Don't know exactly what was going on there. But Norris back through. So I think it's time to seriously zoom forward. Perez dropped off there.
Mercedes moved up a place.
Hamilton back past. Yeah, Verstappen, what he needs to do is stay behind here, which he has done this lap, and now he's going to get him. Yep. Verstappen through now, and you would imagine Max will start to close up to Lewis Hamilton, although Norris is staying pretty close. And, well, hang on a second. Fernando Alonso now leads this Grand Prix. Time to push on. Put in the laps.
No saving required. Okay.
And this is where we can really test our mettle. Gasly, meanwhile, struggling to stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen up to P4, but leading a little train towards Lewis, but still 5.5 seconds behind. I think Gasly's going to have to push the fuel as well.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do here. Can Fernando Alonso build out enough of a gap? Where did... So Perez and Sainz came out in front of Vettel.
It's a race position gained.
Perez could well end up behind this battle of Verstappen, Leclerc and Norris. That could hold him up for a little while. Perez currently the fastest man out there. Gasly's locked up. Where is Gasly? Oh, I think Gasly could be out here. What on earth has happened? Did he go into the back of Hamilton? Yes, he did. Oh, that's a huge crash. And that's going to be Hamilton out of the race, I would think.
And the team had such high hopes today. What a shame.
Well, that could be huge for the championship leader. Gasly has got a penalty. The safety car is out So, Fernando Alonso, he's going to be coming into the pits this lap. He's going to be turning on to hard tyres. And he's going to have to take them very easily until the end of the Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly, meanwhile, he's going to have to do the same. And we're also going to have to change his front wing. And a 5-second penalty as well, so that is huge for Pierre. That is going to cost him massively. But yes, Hamilton is out. Oh, well. That is huge. But Alonso...
Safety car, safety car.
Alonso may well... Alonso may well come out in the lead here because Gasly's going to hold people up because he's lost his front wing. And they're all going to end up queuing behind Gasly. Yeah, this is going to work out well. All of a sudden, surely Alonso's going to come out in front of all of these guys. Oh, let's see.
Okay, pit lane.
So Fernando Alonso is in.
Copy.
Of course, Pierre Gasly is going to be in as well. Coming around the final corner now.
Copy. Just make sure you get your pit limiter as you come in the pit lane.
Alonso away. Where's he going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of Leclerc and... Perez and Sainz? It's going to be very close. Yes, he does. He comes out ahead of Leclerc. And Fernando Alonso...
Yeah, take it easy. Okay.
will be alright. So he's going to be leading the Grand Prix.
Okay, energy's good. Okay, copy.
Where's Gasly? So Gasly coming out now. And he's out just ahead of Alex Albon. So, what do we do on strategy view again? It was something so we can basically do that, and that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so Fernando had a new strategy. Yeah, so he can still attack till the end of the race, but yeah, this is huge. This is absolutely huge for the championship because Gasly's made a massive mistake. He's put Hamilton out of the Grand Prix, which Hamilton was a big threat for the win, in my opinion. So Alonso's behind Norris and Verstappen, who haven't pitted yet, of course. Leclerc, who hasn't pitted, he's ahead of. Perez has pitted along with Sainz. It's all going to be whether Alonso is able to make these tyres last until the end of the Grand Prix. But equally, you look around and people have got much worse tyres. I mean, you know, it's probably going to be a while before the medium tyre runners come in. Verstappen is leading the Grand Prix.
And obviously no overtaking until the control line.
Copy.
Maybe we go overtake straight away here with Alonso. And, well, with Gasly, I tell you what, he could get away with this, because if you look at who's been in the pits, if Verstappen, Norris and Leclerc, Gasly should jump them, and he should easily get past Ocon and Vettel.
Use overtake.
Don't think Gasly's got any other damage. He's been very lucky.
Make sure we get a good restart. Okay.
So here we go then. Fernando Alonso is going to be looking to try and get ahead of Lando Norris. very, very soon here on these brand new hard tyres. Here we go. We are back underway here in Belgium. And we've still got 27 laps to go after this one. Well, Alonso already losing out to those guys in front. I don't think it's worth being on overtake the whole time. I think Gasly should be able to make inroads shortly. Let's see what Alonso can do. Oh, Norris is in the wall. We just watched that happen.
This is good. Come on.
Norris in the wall.
Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Just had massive
They go
understeer.
wide, right off the racing line.
No.
And that was a bitter
think-
blow for the team.
I think he's probably okay. Yeah. I think it glitched. So, one less car for Fernando to have to overtake. Well, Gasly closing in on Esteban Ocon. Verstappen still pulling away. Yeah. The problem we've got is that Leclerc is going to be very, very racy. Oh, Verstappen's in. Verstappen's in, so Alonso takes over the lead of this Grand Prix. Gasly now in 7th. What can he do? I don't know exactly what Gasly's going to be able to do, but Alonso pulling away. And here comes Charles Leclerc. Is he going to have a look? Not yet. If Alonso can pull away from Perez and Sainz, who are side by side, by the way. Let's have a little look at that battle. Sainz stays away, stays in front. Gasly, meanwhile, under pressure from Alex Albon in the AlphaTauri. It could be a move for Albon. Very interesting. Gasly definitely going slower than the people around him. I don't really see any explanation for that. And here comes Charles Leclerc. Is he going to have a look here? Or is Charles Leclerc coming into the pits this lap? No, Leclerc still continuing on.
So DRS is enabled now.
So DRS enabled this lap. Surely Charles Leclerc is going to get past Alonso here. So here we go. Alonso goes to the inside. Leclerc tries to take the inside line, but nope, doesn't manage to get past. Sainz now back into 3rd, ahead of Perez. Gasly, yep, Gasly's managed to stay ahead of Albon. Right, let's zoom this forward. Let's see how this all shakes out. You would imagine Leclerc is probably going to come into the pits either this lap or next lap. Leclerc's in the pit lane, so now Alonso leads the race on merit. And will be absolutely trying his best to stay more than a second ahead of Perez, because if he can do that for the next 25 laps, it's going to be a memorable victory for him. Pierre Gasly, meanwhile, struggling to stay ahead of Albon. Oh, we have somebody in the wall.
Copy. Yellow flag.
I don't know exactly what's happened. Is it another safety car?
Copy.
It's Hulkenberg.
Here's the replay. Now we see the Williams
What
here.
did Hulkenberg do? Oh, massive lock-up.
That's it all.
Yep, he's done
And a
what
big
George
off.
Russell did. But Hulkenberg's still in the race for now. Can Gasly stay ahead of Albon this time? Don't really know how he's stayed ahead this long. He's just got comparable straight line speed, I think. Somebody ran wide. I think it was Perez. Perez! No, it's actually Ocon. It was Esteban Ocon that ran wide. And Vettel now into P3. I think Perez has as well. Yeah,
Let's
Perez
see what
has. So it was
happened there.
Perez and
So let's look
Ocon.
at this. There's
So Perez
Sergio
runs
Perez.
wide.
And they've gone wide. Very
And then I
wide.
think Ocon
That's
follows
not
him.
Ideal. Not ideal at all.
Energy if you need it.
So Gasly up to P5. We're using a bit of energy to try and catch up. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso still leading away at the front. Slightly quicker than Sainz, but if you look at our tyres, it's not going to be long before we end up with worse tyres than Sainz. Vettel's going to have a little look here. Those medium tyres. I'm not sure Vettel's actually been into the pits yet, has he? Well, he has been. Those medium tyres are surely not going to last till the end of the race. This could be a big moment for Sebastian Vettel, because it looks like he might even get past Sainz here for P2. So here he comes. Yeah, DRS open. And I think Vettel is going to take P2 here. Wow, look at this. Side by side with Sainz, but he flies through. And now Vettel up into P2 on the medium tyres. We'll be looking to catch up to Fernando now. I'm a little concerned about how much fuel we're going to have. So 26.54. We have got plenty of fuel. So let's keep going with that. We'll zoom it forward. Gasly staying well clear of Alex Albon currently. Trying to catch up to Sergio Perez. Alonso, meanwhile, leading this race. Vettel in P2 ahead of Sainz in P3. Gasly currently P5. What a recovery drive it would be if he managed to get into the top four. Vettel is losing time lap after lap to Perez. Sainz having another look at Vettel, but not getting close, and this is all the while allowing Alonso to push on. Let's go neutral with Gasly. Albon may well get past here. New fastest lap for Fernando Alonso out of nowhere. 1:45.3. That was a huge lap. Only one close to that was Perez and Verstappen in P12. I mean, what a mistake he's made on the strategy today. He has been caught in this traffic, even though he is the fastest guy out there. He's caught in the DRS train. Fernando Alonso just building that gap at the front. Safety car definitely helped. Gasly still just ahead of Alex Albon. But not making any inroads on Sergio Perez. It's interesting, isn't it? Because Alonso's absolutely running away with it, but then Gasly isn't able to close in on Perez. So Alonso's just at a much better pace right now than his teammate. I think if we get that up to, 8, 9, 10 seconds, then we can start thinking about looking after the car. Sebastian Vettel in P2, that is the best thing that could have ever happened to us, because Sainz is struggling to get past with the straight line speed of the Alpine. Although Vettel's made a mistake.
Like
Vettel has made a mistake and he's down to P4 now. So Carlos Sainz, he's going to start making it back, surely. Oh no. Let's have a look at tyre use. Yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna have to go aggressive now. Gasly's a little bit better.
I think there's been a lock-up.
Sonoda locks up. Yeah, it could be a tense final few laps here, because I think Alonso's tyres are definitely waning slightly. His fuel looks good though. Same with Gasly. Yeah, we can even go standard now with Alonso, I think. Need to try and get that going a little bit.
Someone spun
Ricardo has spun.
I think we've had a car run wide.
Bottas ran wide, but unless there's a late safety car, I can't see.
Sounds like a spin.
I was struggling here. Albon's dropping back now. Is Albon's tyres gone?
Wide.
No. Oh, Albon ran wide.
Was
Ran
that a lock-up on the
Gasly
track?
in some clear air. Kevin Magnussen is catching up to him. You've got to think, surely Gasly must have had more damage to his car than what we can pick up from that incident, because a Haas should not be closing in on us. But Fernando Alonso still out front, still doing an awesome job. Gasly's going to have to now buck up his ideas. Those tyres are not going to last. Luckily, we're alright for fuel. But yeah, this is going to be a big victory for Fernando Alonso. Safety car definitely helped. We came out in front of Sainz and Perez. Vettel got in front of Sainz for a large chunk of time, and I don't think Sainz is going to be able to pull this gap back in time unless Fernando's tyres run out, which isn't looking likely right now. So Tsunoda running wide. We're going to hop on board with Fernando for these final 2 laps. He's 5.2 ahead of Carlos Sainz. Let's look after the fuel.
Save fuel. Copy.
Let's not push unnecessarily. Yeah, Gasly. No, it's a good recovery drive. I thought he was going to be out when he crashed into Hamilton. But yeah, it's a complete role reversal, really, of Hungary, where Gasly's pace was just so much better than Fernando's. In this race, Fernando's pace has been better than Gasly's, and That's the way it's gone. Another car's ran wide. Who's ran wide? I think it's Verstappen, I think.
Oh, did someone
Yeah,
run
it
wide
was.
there?
So Verstappen down to P12. And this has helped nobody except us. Gasly's tyres not doing great out there.
Copy.
But he should be okay. So Fernando Alonso starts his final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix.
Last lap now.
And he's 5 seconds ahead of Sainz. We might as well give it everything.
Push now. Okay, copy.
Try and get that fastest lap back.
No saving required. Copy.
Off Carlos. Yeah, personal best first sector. Strangely enough, Sainz is still closing in on us. That Ferrari is just a better car around here. But Alonso has done a brilliant job to maximise the situation. No rain hit the race. It's just dawned on me. That could have been a huge scupper to everyone's chances. Yeah, through sector 2, that looks very pure. And there you go, purple sector 2 for Fernando. This is looking very much like a fastest lap to win the race. So here we come, round the bus stop chicane for the final time. Fernando Alonso is going to come round and he's going to win in Belgium. Another brilliant victory, and he retakes the lead of the drivers' standings, and that was the fastest lap as well. A 1:44.0. Sainz comes across the line in second, Perez in third. Vettel is going to come across in fourth. He'll be gutted about the lockup because he could have easily finished second today. He comes across the line. He finishes in fifth. Gasly is going to come across the line. He'll be a relieved man. He could have been out of this Grand Prix, but he still picks up 10 points. But that is going to be a 15-point swing to Fernando Alonso.
Take all the pickup you can.
And it's going to take a lot of work from Gasly to get back on top of this championship. Magnussen, an excellent 6th for Haas. Albon 7th. And Ricardo 8th. Zhou Guanyu completing a double points finish for AlphaTauri. And Esteban Ocon in P10. Russell finishes outside of the points. He had a poor race. Hamilton, of course, out. Norris out of the running. Verstappen and Leclerc both failed to score. Yeah, crazy really. Verstappen very nearly took fastest lap at the end, but Fernando Alonso wins it, and wins it without lapping a single driver, which is very, very interesting. Here comes Nico Hülkenberg round the final corner. What's his last lap going to be? He comes over the line at 48.2. That is pretty terrible from Nico Hülkenberg. Very, very slow. But that is another victory in the bag.
What a flawless weekend here from Fernando Alonso. His team must be proud. A spot on the podium is exactly what the team deserved, and they got it. And the talented veteran rounds off another great drive, adding to his impressive
Well,
F1
absolutely
podium
amazing
talent.
from Fernando Alonso once again on the top step of the podium, proving why we brought him in at the age of 42.
But
He is
these
still
drivers, they'll be
fantastic.
taking home their trophies and a decent haul of points for their team. Today, Aston Martin demonstrated that they can go very far indeed.
Not bad at all. The team in the pit will be happy with that.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
For the next round, Formula One won't be straying too far. We'll be heading to the dunes of Zandvoort and the lightning speed of the Dutch Grand Prix.
Well, the Dutch Grand Prix was a crazy race last year. Looking forward to that one. But yeah, Alonso wins the race ahead of Sainz in second, Perez third, Vettel in fourth. Gasly finishes only fifth, meaning that Alonso now 14 points ahead with his sixth win of the season. And yeah, Gasly, he'll be regretting that. I think that lock-up with Hamilton that allowed Alonso to win. Ultimately brought the safety car out, and that's why Alonso won. Carlos Sainz up to third now in the championship. I think he is perhaps our biggest threat. I did think it was Lewis, admittedly, but our DNF could finish him off because he's now over 100 points behind in the championship. Sainz still 73 points behind Alonso. It's looking in the bag for one of our drivers. We are just still pulling away, even though we haven't got the quickest car. Aston Martin, as I say, we are running away in the constructors as well. It has been brilliant. I think we are going to end up with some development points, or development point for our top two drivers. Nothing for Piastri just yet. Another 5 million in the bank as well. But no, that is everything for this episode. Zandvoort next. That is going to be exciting, but we are, you know, knocking off these races now. We're thinking towards next year. We've got our new design coming soon after the next Grand Prix. Maybe that can take us back towards the front, but we just keep picking up wins, and it's Fernando Alonso's consistency. It's 2012-esque, it really is. But I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a big thumbs up down below, subscribe for plenty more F1 Manager content, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.